This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Let's say we had to respond to a leaky roof and we had to borrow some of the money from a bank. We couldn't do that without city council approval. And that would take months, as you can see.
We know that having food on the table, having breakfast helps learn. So that's why we continue to collect food items throughout the year, because we know that the need is still present.
People have been alerted that these allotments may end. So the county has been sending out information to folks on how to access a food pantry or to apply for other programs that might be helpful for them.
I haven't specifically set the roles yet, but he's going to provide comfort and just happiness, hopefully.
And that was your eye-opener. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for watching News 8 Now this morning. I'm Ken Kozrowski. That's Eric Dean. It is Friday, January 13th, 2023. Eric, I think we're all due for some sunshine on this upcoming weekend.
That's right. What's that Rebecca Black song go? Oh, yeah.
Friday, you got to go there. Come on.
Hey, great song. It is Friday. The weekend will be starting in a few hours. But we have cloudy skies right now. Temperatures are in the 20s. Take a look outside. We're at 26 degrees. That feels like 16 right now. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. I've got that stupid song stuck in my head. Temperatures across the area in the 20s from top to bottom. 19 in Preston. 19 is the current temperature in Rochester. Those are the couple of exceptions to the rule, but you factor in that feels like temperature down to 9 in Preston, 13 Red Wing, 16 Winona, 16 La Crosse, 14 in Eau Claire, 11 in Ladysmith. And with temperatures in the 20s, it feels like temperature in the teens. I'm thinking large coffee today. I'm on my third one already. I just got a huge iced coffee, 44 ounce, so that's equivalent to about 3 cups of large there. 26 degrees, mostly cloudy skies is the current temperature right now in La Crosse. Like I said, that feels like temperature. It's in the teens. As you get the kiddos ready for the bus stop, we'll go down to 23 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. As we go into the afternoon hours, we'll see temperatures in the mid-20s. We're only making it to 26. Our average high for this time of year is 27 degrees. So, Ken, it's pretty much where we should be for this time of year. Now, coming up in the first warn forecast, we're going to talk about temperatures in the 30s. We're going to talk about temperatures in the 40s. And then we're going to talk about precip chances throughout next week. So stay tuned for that.
As long as we're not talking more about Rebecca Black's Friday, which, by the way, is also in my head now for the rest of the morning show and probably the next 72 hours. Thank you.
Glad I could help.
Yeah, that's Eric Dean. Also, a concerning amount, 44-ounce coffee, my man. You got to slow down over there.
An extra large iced coffee. Hey, I'm ready. I'm pumped. I'm ready. We got to get through this. And we will.
And we will. All right, Eric Dean, thanks very much.
You bet.
Let's switch to the news front on your Friday morning. Members of the La Crosse Common Council say this is it, their final offer to sell a city building to members of the Harry J. Olson Senior Center. The offer approved at a meeting Thursday night isn't new, and the seniors say it's not fair. News 8 Now's Dua Israr was at City Hall when those seniors confronted Mayor Mitch Reynolds.
Common Council members were expected to vote on a resolution that would allow the seniors to purchase the city-owned North Side building for $1. In exchange, the city could still use the building as a polling place. If the seniors wanted to sell the building or use it for something other than a senior center, the city would be first in line to buy it back for $1. During tonight's meeting, the full Common Council discussed the sale into closed session for over an hour. When they returned to vote, a new amendment was on the table. Common Council members voted 9-3 to make the same offer the city had made back in May. The center had rejected that offer. The center's attorney Terry Collins says under this offer, the center would need the city's approval for major changes, even though the center would own the building.
Let's say we had to respond to a leaky roof and we had to borrow some of the money from a bank. We couldn't do that without city council approval. And that would take months, as you can see.
Mayor Mitch Reynolds told the seniors they should accept this offer. The seniors disagree. Collins says the seniors will meet next week to discuss this offer, but he's not sure what their next steps will be. Reporting in La Crosse, Dua Israr, News 8 Now.
Thank you, Dua. And several seniors asked Mayor Reynolds if he would evict them if they didn't accept the offer. The mayor did not answer. Regional clinics and hospitals these days are helping out area families in need. The Gunderson Health System is collecting food for area families. So between now and January 16th, the community is welcome to drop off non-perishable food items at the Gunderson locations in La Crosse and Onalaska. Your donations will go to La Crosse's Hamilton Early Learning Center and the Onalaska Schools Food Pantry.
We know that having food on the table, having breakfast helps learn. So that's why we continue to collect food items throughout the year, because we know that the need is still present.
So if you would like to help, we will post a list of recommended items and drop-off locations at news8000.com. The federal government is ending a pandemic-related food share program, cutting benefits some in half. In Wisconsin, some families will now receive just $23 a month. As News 8 Now's Anna Fisher found out, La Crosse's pantries are preparing to handle an increase in demand.
While everyone is looking forward to the end of the pandemic, this also means the end of crucial government programs that have helped people get through it. The Wisconsin DHS released a statement Thursday morning announcing that February marks the end of its food share program. The program has helped nearly 400,000 households, distributing up to $80 million a month to those struggling to afford food.
People have been alerted that these allotments may end, so the county has been sending out information to folks on how to access a food pantry or to apply for other programs that might be helpful for them.
Alternative programs include WIC, the Badger Box, and the Senior Stock Box.
Seniors, who are going to be one of the groups most affected, they actually will see their food stamps drop down to $23 a month. So we knew and we have been prepared for this.
Fortner says that donating now is more important than ever.
We're going to try to be prepared by asking the community to help with donations to be able to fulfill the need to get more food to folks.
Reporting in La Crosse, I'm Anna Fisher, News 8 Now.
Thanks, Anna. And if you're interested in making a donation, we'll be posting those hours and location information for Wafer on news8000.com. Well, we now know what's happening with the old Onalaska Shopko building. Corta Development confirmed 5 stores are going to be moving in. That building, of course, been empty since 2019 when Shopko filed for bankruptcy. According to the development group, 5 stores going to be coming in by fall of this year. They are TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and Sierra, which are all owned by the same company. And then rounding out the 5 are an Ulta and a Five Below. The West Salem Police Department is getting a new furry member. School resource officer Nate Ganrud and his wife are training their dog Griffin to be a therapy dog. Griffin will be visiting West Salem schools to provide emotional and mental support. Now, according to Ganrud, this will be the first time they've used a therapy dog.
I haven't specifically set the roles yet, but he's going to provide comfort and just happiness, hopefully.
Multiple organizers contributed to getting Griffin trained, including Doggy Business LLC and the West Salem Business Association. The department says they're very thankful for all the support. Time is now 6:07 on this Friday morning. Still ahead on your morning news, the Marcus Theaters movie special that's going to be catered to your little ones, and why parents aren't being notified about some dangerous product recalls. That story and more still to come after the break. For now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning, and today's example is truly out of this world. NASA is pursuing a new discovery that's potentially habitable for life. They are calling it TOI 700E. Scientists always come up with the creative names. They say the planet is potentially at a safe enough distance from a star that it could potentially have liquid water on its surface. According to scientists, that potential for water also suggests the potential for life on that planet. Don't go anywhere. More News 8 Now this morning is coming up after this.
Well, in terms of visibility, we have clear skies out there. Preston, a little bit of the caveat there, 7-mile visibility. Everybody else, though, pretty much unlimited visibility. Now, the past several hours, we've been hovering right around 26, 27 degrees. Right now, we're sitting at 26. That's actually our high for today. We'll see a little bit of a dip in the morning hours, and we're going to go right back up in the afternoon hours. We're sitting at 26. It feels like 16 out there with winds out of the north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. And right now, we're seeing temperatures in the 20s from top to bottom. The lone exception in the Cooley region. Preston, good morning to you guys. You're at 19 degrees, but your feels like temperature is 9. Everybody else, your feels like temperature in the teens and 20s, which, like I said, with temperatures in the teens and 20s, makes for a good large coffee. I'll have more weather coming up in a few minutes. And Ken, just to show you I wasn't lying, this, whoa, he's out. This was my iced coffee this morning. As you can see, it's practically gone. Over to you.
I knew it was going to key out too. Fantastic stuff. In our consumer news this morning, Marcus Theaters is bringing classic kids movies back to the big screen. Now, it's part of the Winter Kids Dream film series that runs until April. So you can take the kiddos to see Over the Hedge, which I have seen, it's not too bad, Trolls, The Lorax, and more. Families can buy a passport to see all 12 movies that are offered for this series for $20. Otherwise, tickets are $3 a piece. So the series runs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings, and movie showings only on Martin Luther King Day and President's Day. We've posted more information, if you're so inclined, on news8000.com. And here's something I think you'll really, really love. The IRS just announced the start of the tax filing season. Heyo, it's Monday, January 23rd. The agency expects over 168 million returns will be filed by this year's deadline on April 18th. Now, that deadline actually 3 days after the usual deadline because it runs on a holiday weekend. If you file electronically and expect a refund, the IRS says you should get a direct deposit within 21 days, with the exception, of course, of any issues. Almost 4 years after a Consumer Reports investigation prompted the recall of millions of popular infant-inclined sleep products, including the Fisher-Price Rock and Play, more child deaths have been linked to them. So how is this possible? Well, Consumer Reports and other product safety experts say companies are not doing enough to warn parents of dangers.
Breaking news tonight on a major recall of the popular Rock and Play sleeper made by Fisher-Price.
That was the spring of 2019 when Fisher-Price and Kids 2 infant-inclined sleepers were recalled after a Consumer Reports investigation revealed at least 36 deaths linked to the products. Since then, the number of deaths have tripled. Now, new information just released is a stark reminder that these dangerous sleep products are still in use. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says at least 8 additional babies have reportedly died in the Fisher-Price's Rock and Play sleeper, and 4 have died in the Kids 2 rocking sleepers since the recall, bringing the total number of deaths for both sleepers to more than 100.
These sleepers position infants on an inclined sleeping surface, and that increases the risk of suffocation if it makes their heads drop forward onto their chests while they're sleeping.
Sadly, the news that additional infants have died means that even while the inclined sleepers cannot legally be sold, they are still being used in people's homes.
When a product gets recalled, it's the manufacturer's responsibility to both get it out of the stores and to alert people who already own it to stop using it immediately. And safety experts say that they just haven't seen Fisher-Price or Kids 2 do enough in that area.
Mattel says Fisher-Price has worked diligently to remove all recalled products from the market since the recall of the Rock and Play in 2019. Kids 2 did not respond to a request for comment from Consumer Reports. To keep your baby safe, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that babies be put to bed only in products that meet federal safety requirements for infant sleep, such as a bassinet, crib, or play yard. If you're having a hard time getting your infant to sleep, ask your pediatrician for tips, rather than using an unsafe positioning product.
And the CPSC says that if you see one of these recalled sleepers for sale, be sure to report it to the agency at saferproducts.gov.
All right, as you head out the door this morning, we're seeing temperatures in the mid-20s with cloudy skies, but with that wind starting to pick up a little bit. 16 is what it feels like out there with, like I said, winds out of the north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Dew point is sitting at 21. Eau Claire, good morning to you guys. You're a few degrees cooler, 23 degrees. It feels like 14 out there with winds out of the north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. So as we go into the weekend, we'll see temperatures rebounding back up into the 30s for Saturday, upper 30s, low 40s as we head into your Sunday. Radar scan right now, we have a clean sweep across the area. We'll just go ahead and put the big old smiley face right here. That's, we'll try that again next hour. That's a sad looking smiley face. I had one job. Anywho, we're on the leading edge of a high pressure system. Basically, it's going to keep the winds out of the north and northwest for today. We'll go on the back end of it as we go into the weekend. There it is right here. You can see the warm front that's going to be in play as we go into the weekend, which will allow those temperatures to go up into the 30s and 40s. So let's go ahead and bring it closer to home for today. We're only going into the 20s, folks. 23 in Eau Claire, 24 Marshfield, 27 Black River Falls, 28 Sparta, 26 La Crosse, 26 in Viroqua, 29 Prairie du Chien, 25 in Decorah. So a sky tracker, again, will stay mostly cloudy throughout the morning and early afternoon hours. We'll get a little bit of a break in the clouds, only for it to fire back up again for Friday night. And then from Winona and Point South, you'll stay mostly sunny. From Black River Falls North, you're going to stay mostly cloudy. Highs on Saturday, there we go, back into the mid to upper 30s, 37 Black River Falls, 35 Sparta, as well as Viroqua, 39 in Boscobel. So let's go ahead and talk about the second half of the weekend. So as we go into Sunday, I'm going to keep a rain chance in the forecast for Sunday night going into Monday morning. This particular model doesn't have the precipitation coming in Sunday. I think that our southern zones have a really good shot of seeing it, but by Monday, the rain chances really start to ramp up. So the first warn forecast for today, we'll see mostly cloudy skies, much cooler with highs in the mid-20s. Winds will be out of the north at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we head into your evening hours, we'll see temperatures right around 20 by the 7 o'clock hour, then mid-teens as we go into your evening and overnight hours. The balance of the 8-day forecast, we go to 35 Saturday, upper 30s, low 40s for Sunday with a rain chance Sunday night. Then that precip chance lasts throughout next week. The heaviest chance of precip will be Monday. We get a little bit of a break Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday night, we have the rain-snow mix. Thursday and Friday, snow showers are not out of the question. Overnight lows at that point will be in the teens and 20s. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes. But first, here's a look at this day in history. Take a look at the temperature trend over the past few hours, and boy, oh boy, we have not moved much. Ooh, 1 degree. That was from 27 to 26 at the 5 o'clock hour, and right now we're sitting at 26 degrees. We have the
Welcome to the Blitz. Well, it was a special night for a special young woman in the West Salem Bangor wrestling community. Zoe Coder is the Catbirds wrestling manager, but in October, Zoe was involved in a car accident, suffering a traumatic brain injury as a result. She's been recovering ever since, but on Thursday night, it was Zoe night at West Salem High School. Catbirds hosting Sparta on the mat, this one dedicated to Zoe. Friends, teammates, supporters, all getting bracelets. Zoe Bug is what her mom calls her. Friends wearing shirts in support of Zoe. Her favorite team is the Kansas City Chiefs, hence the color red. Catbirds head coach Josh Brewer showing support for Zoe as well. Let's go to the action. Pick it up at 126. Sparta's Devin Lietzau gets the reversal and the takedown. The sophomore picks up the win, gets 4 points for the Spartans. But from that point, this one all Catbirds. Big Brett Plumadahl gets the takedown here. The junior gets the win for West Salem at 132. Let's go to 138 now. Caden Anderson, the freshman, not looking like one tonight. He gets the pin over Levi Nichols. 6 more points for the Catbirds. At 145, West Salem still dominating. Isaac Schneep Duffy gets the pin over Carter Erickson. 17-point lead for the home team. At 152, Catbirds Trevor Arntz getting the fall over Otto Lepley. And at 160, Cody Peterson getting it done for his squad. He scores the pin over Brock Connolly. West Salem Bangor gets the win 65-10. To find out how you can check on Zoe's progress, that link is on our website, news8000.com/sports. High school hoops, GET hosting 8-1 Luther in a packed gymnasium. Early in the first half, Isaiah Schwichtenberg spins, moves past the whole Red Hawk team for the lay-in. We're all tied up. Same score now. Red Hawks defense boxes in, steals the ball. Cody Schmitz picks it up, gets the easy transition bucket, but that lights a fire for Luther. Logan Barr is going to intercept the pass here, gives it to Nathan Riley, who doesn't have to look where Sinclair Bias is for the layup. Luther closes out the half on a 16-8 run. GET won't go down quietly, though. Braden Anabas pulls up for the 3-ball. He's going to bury it. Red Hawks fight back and take the lead. We told you it would be a good one. The back and forth continues. Barr drops his second straight three-pointer of the night right here. He's all fired up. Knights pull away in the second half. They win this one 67-53. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Rob, come on, you know, I give you a nice intro, I am very nice to you at work, and then you just come in and interrupt my time on weather. I tell you what, I'll get you back for that, Mr. Schiff. You know I will. Now I'm just waiting for Ken to come by here and interrupt me. 26 is the temperature outside, feels like 16 out there. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Eau Claire, good morning to you guys. You're at 23 degrees, feels like 14 with winds out of the north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. And we're going to go into the 30s and 40s as we go into the weekend. Mid-30s for Saturday, upper 30s for Sunday. All right, that does it for weather. Ken, I will toss it back to you, maybe. I guess we'll go to break.
Welcome back to News 8 Now this morning. Time is 6:28 on this Friday morning. The University of Minnesota wants to break free from its decades-long tie to mHealth Fairview. On Thursday, the med school staff announced their vision to independently own all their own medical buildings on campus again, along with some expansion plans. Marielle Mose breaks down this U-turn for healthcare on campus.
We need to be bold, we need to be intentional, and we need to be ambitious on behalf of the state of Minnesota.
That's Jacob Tolar, the dean of the University of Minnesota Medical School. He, along with Joan Gable, the university president, revealed their plan called Impact Healthcare Innovation Vision. It involves reacquiring all the medical buildings on campus, including Masonic Children's Hospital, from mHealth Fairview. They also revealed their design of a brand new hospital they want to build on the campus's East Bank. Tolar says hospitals offer better care when they're directly connected to medical schools and research centers.
To provide the best therapies today, the highest qualities, and the new ones for tomorrow. And you have to do it at the same time.
To do this, President Gable says they need the state's help.
We are calling on Attorney General Ellison and Governor Walz and the Minnesota legislature to support shifting these facilities to the university.
Well, the U of M says they want to remain in their agreement with mHealth Fairview. A spokesperson with mHealth Fairview says they were blindsided by this announcement. mHealth Fairview did recently announce their upcoming merger with Sanford Health. Both hospital systems released a statement after the announcement saying, in part, we remain interested in a clinical partnership between the university and the combined Fairview-Sanford system. Since August, we have engaged in good faith with the University of Minnesota and brought forward many options for partnership. Despite repeated requests since August of last year, we have had no opportunity to meet with President Gable or Regent Powell.
Obviously, there's some financial issues that Fairview is having from the operations. We've got to figure out how and why, and we want to be a part of that discussion too.
At the U of M, Marielle Mose, WCCO 4 News.
The U of M says it will also rely on state and community investments to upgrade the current university medical buildings and the new hospital that they plan on building. Well, what would you do to help a coworker? One Minnesota nurse gave hers the gift of life. Former Rochester Mayo Clinic nurse Sarah Coleman found out her friend and coworker Jean Shu needed a kidney. Despite living hundreds of miles away in Colorado, Coleman did not hesitate. She offered to donate her kidney, and she was a match. The surgery was successful, and now both women are sharing their experience to encourage others to consider organ donation.
People are afraid. I was afraid of immunosuppression, and I've worked with that. So I think the more we can talk about it and get the word out, I think more and more people will be less hesitant to do it.
Both women are still working in medicine. They say they value their friendship even more. Minnesota wants to lead the way, meanwhile, with electric emergency vehicles. Governor Tim Walz showed off the state's first electric fire truck earlier this week. Rosenbauer Motors wants to build the trucks in Wyoming, Minnesota. The starting cost to build one of these things, $1.6 million, and a conventional engine costs around $800,000 to $1 million. The savings come from using electricity, though, instead of fuel.
This is where the future goes for responding, the ability to be able to continue to provide that service, but also do it cheaper, do it environmentally sound, and be able to do it as efficiently and as effectively as possible.
One of these electric fire trucks is already responding to emergencies out in Los Angeles. Deputies are warning the Houston County community about a new phone scam. The caller claims to be a member of law enforcement and tells their intended victim they owe money for failure to appear in court. If you have gotten a call like this, be sure to call the Houston County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say you should never give out your credit card, banking, or any other personal information over the phone. If your child got his or her first phone for Christmas, experts say now is the time to take a look at the device. AT&T says parents should teach their kids to use tech wisely. Since a lot of phone apps and games are requiring internet access, the phone company says parents should monitor the apps that their kids use.
Show some interest. It just takes a couple minutes to understand what that game may be, what that app may be, what they're doing on social. And then you really get a glimpse into what they're into. And then most importantly, you can regulate it.
And parents can also monitor in-game purchases and enable parental controls to set time limits. Meanwhile, at the Minnesota Capitol, lawmakers are weighing policies that could impact your kids in school. A long wish list for Democrats in control at the Capitol when it comes to education. With that large $17.6 billion surplus, there's a renewed effort to make meals in school free for all kids. An expired COVID-era rule allowed schools to serve meals to kids free of charge. Well, now DFL lawmakers want to make it permanent, especially as the cost for food has increased. Supporters say it would help reduce child hunger. Less than a week pardon me, after taking an oath of office, Wisconsin Congressman Derek Van Norden in the 3rd Congressional District has already introduced his first bill. If passed, the Ban Congressman Lobbyist Act would ban former senators and members of the House from lobbying Congress and the executive branch. The Republican also proposed 2 congressional amendments. The Balanced Budget Amendment will prohibit Congress from incurring more debts than revenue during each fiscal year and require a balanced budget within 10 years. Now, the Term Limits Amendment will limit members of the House of Representatives to serving 6 terms and U.S. senators to 2 terms. Wisconsin state Republicans are once again blocking a ban on conversion therapy. Republican state lawmakers voted Thursday to allow therapists, social workers, and counselors to practice conversion therapy, which is the scientifically discredited practice of changing an LGBTQ client's gender identity and sexual orientation. A state licensing board banned the practice in 2020, but the Republican-controlled Legislature Rules Committee has since blocked it several times. A Wisconsin contractor is accused of scamming dozens of people out of tens of thousands of dollars. Thursday, Tyler Hansen faced a Dane County judge, and we learned he's accused of using at least 3 different business names to commit similar crimes in other communities, including Monroe County.
Are you Mr. Hansen?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's the man our own Leah Linscheid tried. I'm looking for Tyler. And tried again.
I'm looking for your neighbor.
To find when she ran this report last August.
It was just a total nightmare. I mean, the communication wasn't there.
Our Call for Action team was handling more than 25 cases of customers scammed out of contractor work at the time. Dean Schrader was one of them.
Windows leak air, doors are damaged. Front door of the house, the molding's being held on packaging tape.
There are multiple counties that have similar charges against this defendant and his co-defendants. They've stolen over $200,000 in a similar manner.
Thursday, he appeared in court for one of those cases, where prosecutors asked for a $10,000 bail. That's when Hansen spoke with his own story.
$10,000 bail is not something that I'm able to come up with. I'm working diligently to satisfy contracts and to give refunds. I've given over 80 refunds in the last year. I wouldn't be able to do that if I had to come up with that kind of money.
He and his wife and a 3rd employee are facing charges all over Wisconsin.
There are cases in Sauk County, Adams County, Monroe County, Waukesha, Walworth, and Greene.
He says as he faces these criminal charges, he now has a real job, and he's trying to find his way back to restitution.
Incarcerated at this time under bail, I'm going to lose that job and the ability to pay these people back, and I've just paid 2 more customers back last week. You know, we're working really hard to do that.
That convinced Judge David Conway to forego a cash bond.
So I'm going to allow a signature bond.
And our sister station in Madison continues to hear from more victims and is working with them to get Hansen to pay them back.
Here's a look at the next 8 days. We're only going to 26 today with mostly cloudy skies. Let's go ahead and break out the weekend real quick because we'll see temperatures in the 30s for Saturday with mostly sunny skies. 40 as we go into Sunday. The caveat to Sunday, we have the rain chances in the forecast. The next 8 days, we have temperatures going into the 40s for Monday, mid-30s for Tuesday and Wednesday. Rain chances pick up starting Monday, lingering into Wednesday. At that time, it will transition to a wintry mix. Then we go into the snow chances for Thursday and Friday. Now, let's go beyond the 8-day. We'll take a look at the 6 to 10-day. We're staying above average in terms of temperature. We hover right around normal for the next 8 to 14. You see that the colder than normal off towards the west. That's something I want to keep an eye on. But for the next 6 to 10, even 8 to 14 days, we have precipitation chances wetter than normal. Mr. Kozarowski, over to you.
All right, thanks very much, Mr. Dean. It is 6:37. Coming up in your morning buzz report, Mediterranean cooking. If you're jumping into that diet this year, we've got a breakfast option that just might be up to speed. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, TGIF. The weekend is here, and it's a cloudy start to the weekend and chilly. We're at 26 degrees here in La Crosse. It feels like 16 out there. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. In Eau Claire, good morning to you guys. You're sitting at 23 degrees. It feels like 14 with winds out of the north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. So we'll go to 26 for today. After today, we go back into the mid-30s for Saturday. Upper 30s, even low 40s will greet you as we go into your Sunday. So the radar scan, again, we have a clean sweep across the area. We'll go ahead and see if we can do this again, because we know from several months and one set ago I couldn't draw spiders, but at least I can draw a smiley face. So we have a clean sweep across the area, but the big story right now is that cloud cover. You can see it's just dominating the entire Coulee region at this hour. We're on the leading edge of a high pressure system, which is what's going to keep the winds out of the north and northwest for today. And we'll get on the back end of this as we go into the weekend. So when we get on the back end of this warm front will push its way through as well, which will keep the winds at that time out of the south, which will allow those temperatures to go into the 30s and 40s. But for today, this is the coldest day of the 8-day, folks. Temperatures will be in the 20s. Boscobel, you're going to get to 31. 10 cooler in Preston, 19 in Rochester. Red Wing, you'll go to the double deuces, 22 degrees, 25 Winona, 23 Eau Claire, 24 in Ladysmith. So we'll stay mostly cloudy as we go into your evening and overnight hours. By Saturday morning from Black River Falls south, will stay mostly sunny. North of Black River Falls, you're going to stay partly to mostly cloudy. Highs on Saturday, much warmer than today. We're talking temperatures in the mid to upper 30s. As we go into the second half of the weekend, so Saturday night going into Sunday, will stay mostly cloudy. This particular model doesn't paint precip chances in the forecast Sunday night. I think our southern zones on Sunday night could see some precipitation. Because of that, I'm keeping that rain chance in the forecast. By Monday, though, the rain chances really start to ramp up. So the first warn forecast for today, we're going to go to 26 with mostly cloudy skies, much cooler as compared to yesterday with winds out of the north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your evening planner will see temperatures right around 21 by the 6 o'clock hour. Then the teens will greet you from 7 to about 11. And you're noticing the winds dying down and then turning calm as we go into your overnight hours. That's when we start to get on the back end of that high pressure system. And then by Saturday, look at that temperature, 35 degrees with mostly sunny skies. We'll go to 40 for Sunday, 41 for Monday, and then mid-30s as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But you're noticing, Ken, the precip chances start to pick up Sunday night, lasting throughout the week. Ken, over to you.
Thanks very much, Eric. We know a good cup of coffee can change your morning. Special education students at Onalaska High, they're working hard to serve that up to other students and their teachers. Photographer Chuck Oadsma has more in our latest eyepiece.
This is Anna Java. Disability kids like me work here, and we learn our job skills and the real world, like what it's like to work at like a place and like business and stuff like that.
Okay, 150, please.
I like talking. I'm definitely extroverted, so that's one thing I like about it.
I can help whoever's next. Helps.
They are my friends sometimes. They are random strangers sometimes, but I eventually learn to like communicate and make sure everything is like I know everybody.
50 cents is your change.
I do enjoy this. It's actually really fun because you get to learn more things and like learn how to like do coffee in my English class. We like work on it, like we make the cold brew and everything. So we make all this Vietnamese from scratch. Like we buy the ingredients and then they're in English. We like work on it and then make it.
We have a guiding hand that we offer them, but this is their business and they do staff it.
50 cents is your change. Have a good day.
Now, that student-run coffee shop has been running for years, but the teachers say it spiked in popularity when they started offering those cold brew options. We'll stick with the theme of breakfast this morning. It's kind of a myth that that is the most important meal of the day. Some of us want a full meal to get us going. Some just have a cup of joe, a piece of toast, call it a morning. With the new year underway, you might be trying a new diet and need some options in the morning that will keep you on track. So we've got you in mind. The Mediterranean diet might be the diet you've landed on this year, and for good reason. The U.S. News and World Report has ranked it the best for 6 straight years because it's mostly plant-based, a lot of fruit and vegetables, nuts and whole grains, and less red meat and more seafood, and all about olive oil instead of butter. But at least when I think Mediterranean, I think more items geared to lunch and dinner, not necessarily breakfast. So we're joined this morning by Chef Kelsey Murphy with Safe Catch, an organization specializing in seafood of the purest quality. Kelsey, thanks for joining us. So for our Mediterranean diet goers, you've got a healthy breakfast recipe that can set us up a whole week.
It's a salmon recipe. So salmon and eggs may not be your cup of tea, but I promise you in this recipe, it's super packed with flavor. It's packed full of protein, and it's lean and it's clean, and it's going to keep you full until lunch. So with the recipe, I like to use Safe Catch salmon. Again, it's the lowest mercury of any brand. It's 100% wild caught. It's Marine Stewardship Council sourced sustainable. We're also the American Pregnancy Association officials tuna and salmon. So meaning if you are expecting or you're nursing or you have kiddos that are running off to school in the morning, this is going to fit perfectly into their diet because we meet Consumer Reports low mercury criteria for those sensitive populations. Whereas, you know, other seafoods, you may not want to incorporate that into your diet. So back to the recipe. 1 can of Safe Catch salmon. We both have the non-salt added, which is our blue can, and then we have a pink can. I like the extra salt, but if that's not for you, opt for the no salt added. So it's 1 can, and unlike your traditional seafood or canned seafood, you don't want to drain Safe Catch. So it's cooked 1 time only. There's sashimi grade tuna and salmon steaks packed in a BPNI can, and you just flake it up into the can and pour it into your bowl. From there, I add 4 eggs. You can add a few more if you want to stretch this recipe a little bit further, but for me, 4 eggs is great. We have a little Italian seasoning we place right in there. Again, feta cheese, right in line with that Mediterranean diet. Some tomatoes. I have some Guatemala olives. And then I ran out of spinach this morning, and so this is a great recipe where you can add things, you can take away things based on your flavor profile. And then I have a little green onion in here. So you'll mix that together. You'll spray your muffin tin. I used a 6 spot muffin tin with some extra virgin olive oil or olive oil. Bake it in the oven at 375 for 20 to 25 minutes. And again, these come out just so perfect, and they're packed full of protein. It's about 11 grams of protein per egg bite here. And they store beautifully in the freezer, and you can keep them in your refrigerator up to 6 days.
You told me beforehand 2 egg bites per person for the serving. Now this diet also loves herbs and spices. How about those that maybe want to give the option more pizzazz?
I love to keep dried spices on hand. They last for much longer in our house. So some oregano, dried parsley. So my Italian seasoning has all of these ingredients in there. You can even add a little additional garlic if that's something for you. Cumin if you want a little bit spicier. And even some paprika. So you can really make this your own based on the flavor profile that you, your family, and your loved ones really enjoy.
A great idea, and a big thanks to Kelsey for joining us this morning. Again, easy to store in the fridge or freezer and a quick microwave the next day. And there you go, you got another breakfast taken care of. We've got a link to the full recipe on news8000.com, and Safe Catch has its seafood products available and many more recipe options for you to check out as well. Time is now 6:49, and Eric, we're heading to break with today's Look Who's 8.
Yes, we are. Happy 8th birthday to Colton. Colton is a very intelligent kid who enjoys telling his family random facts they don't know about, and maybe he could share a couple with me. Happy birthday, Colton.
And a happy 88th birthday to Yvette. Yvette loves to make arts and crafts as well as sitting down to a good book.
And happy 88th birthday to Thomas. Thomas has been a farmer all of his life and enjoys talking with everyone. Happy birthday, Thomas.
If you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we would love to feature them.
Hey, do us a favor. Upload their picture to our website, news8000.com. Look for that Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
And stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is coming up next. Time for your morning news now. The La Crosse Common Council made their final offer to sell the Harry J. Olson Senior Center to its members last night for $1 in exchange for the city to still use it as a polling place. That's the same offer seniors denied back in May. The center's attorney says under this offer, the center would still need the city's approval for major changes, even if the center owns the building.
Let's say we had to respond to a leaky roof and we had to borrow some of the money from a bank. We couldn't do that without city council approval, and that would take months, as you can see.
Seniors will meet next week to discuss the offer, but he's not sure what the next step will be. We now know what's happening with the old Onalaska Shopko building. Court of Development confirmed 5 stores are going to be moving in. Now, that building been empty since 2019 when Shopko filed for bankruptcy. According to the group, 5 stores going to be in by fall of this year. TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and Sierra. My wife is going to love that. And Ulta as well, and a Five Below will also be joining the area. Regional clinics and hospitals are helping out area families in need. Gunderson Health System is collecting food for area families. So between now and January 16th, the community is welcome to drop off non-perishable food items at the Gunderson locations in La Crosse and Onalaska. And your donations will go to La Crosse's Hamilton Early Learning Center and the Onalaska Schools Food Pantry.
We know that having food on the table, having breakfast helps learn. So that's why we continue to collect food items throughout the year, because we know that the need is still present.
If you'd like to help, we've got more information at news8000.com. The West Salem Police Department getting a new furry member. School resource officer Nate Ganrud and his wife are training their dog Griffin to be a therapy dog. Griffin will be visiting West Salem schools to provide emotional and mental support, and according to Ganrud, this will be the first time they've used a therapy dog.
I haven't specifically set the roles yet, but he's going to provide comfort and just happiness, hopefully.
Happiness, definitely. Multiple organizers contributed to getting Griffin trained, including Doggy Business LLC and the West Salem Business Association. The police department says they're very thankful for all the support.
And one final look at the next 8 days. There you go. Temperatures will be in the 20s today, 30s for Saturday. And then Derek comes back next week. Now, the bold prediction, Mr. Kozarowski, do you think he'll be coming back a happy man because of the Dolphins winning, or do you think he'll be coming back crying?
Oh, fully depressed. There is no way the Dolphins are beating the Buffalo Bills. No
We've seen crazier things happen.
You know, if Tua was healthy, of course, maybe we're having a slightly different conversation, because they did play each other very tough about a month ago near Christmas. That was a fun game.
But they also had like 6 feet of snow, too.
They did, but Skylar Thompson at quarterback, that's quite a drop-off, and they could barely beat the Jets last week with Joe Flacco at QB. So I guess I can't even say fingers crossed for Derek, because I'm rooting so hard for the Buffalo Bills this weekend, and I think most of America is as well. So
except Derek.
It's an uphill battle for all those Dolphins fans. Now, before we end this morning, we do have one traffic update for you from the Wisconsin Department of Transportation. I-90 westbound has the right lane blocked right now due to a semi in a ditch at mile marker 12. That's by West Salem, so be aware of that on your morning commute. Man, what a fun week it's been.
Yes.
Two of us. I'll be back on evenings next week, everybody, as of Monday. It's been an absolute pleasure the last couple of months. Hope to see you during our evening shows. That's Eric Dean. I'm Ken Kozarowski. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great weekend.